Hey guys, welcome. We're time's down. Enough chit chat, let's get started. In a nutshell, Time's Down is a chase between a thief who uses time manipulation and the time police. Our goal was to let the action and visuals carry the story with the help of playful dialogues.
The team imagined a universe somewhere between Blade Runner and Ghost in the Shell. So I sketched concept arts and developed the layouts, camera movements and editing. I made sure to be pragmatic to keep the VFX shots and complex camera movements manageable, especially considering the stunts in the full CG shot.
Shooting was all about creating lighting conditions that would be easy to match in 3D. The dynamic lighting was achieved with LED TVs. Since the sets were mainly green screens, the stunts were precisely choreographed.
We ended with a motion capture session. This fabulous tool allowed us to record an animation library for our 3 characters and establish a first layout quickly.
We needed a CG double for our main character. We shot a lighting reference to match the shading as much as possible, and we did a photogrammetry of the costume. I also created the security agent. We made his suit in full CG to have a futuristic look. This allowed us to freeze the security agent when time stops.
For the animation of our protagonists, I developed auto rigs and motion capture managers during the pre-production in order to work quickly.
The time agent was the biggest asset. I wanted him to look threatening and deadly, but agile. Combining strong shapes with nanotubes, I made procedural iterations until I found the correct balance.
I modeled the time agent to be animation ready. I also created details in layers such as bones, muscles and veins. The biggest challenge was the placement of the mecha's plates. I worked closely with Nils to coordinate all these elements.
We wanted a brutality and agility that humans can't match, so I reworked all the mecha's basic mocap to remove the human feeling. The most ambitious shots were animated entirely by hand. During the production, I developed body mechanic tools for the keyframe animated shots and procedural animation tools for the transformations.
To realize a believable action chase, I drew our main character's path across 23 environments. The rhythm intensifies as the mood and lighting change. Therefore, I worked on the transition between scenes and make sure the lighting was both dynamic and readable. Our tools and asset library is the work.
Firstly, I created many procedural materials instead of texturing all the assets one by one. There are many lights and neon ads in the city, so I developed scripts to avoid repetitive tasks and manage the materials and the lighting.
I modeled quantities of props to create a big library. For the main assets, I made 2 levels of detail, one for the foreground and one for the middle and background.
In order to show the morphing of time, I retimed most simulations using a custom node I created that doesn't require ID or a consistent point count. Most setups were fluid-based, so I reshaped the power solver to use specific behaviors and get the best ratio between details and computation time. The destructions were a combination of mixed RBD constraints or vellum and a deforming setup that could tear the geometry based on impact points. I also created HDAs for recurring setups to iterate quickly.
We use a technique to project realistic texture in compositing with the position pass. It gave a sense of details and broke the procedural aspect, even after a render session. I also keyed and tracked all the shots.
We integrated stock shots to create interaction with the environment and embellish the effects. We used multiple techniques to break 3D aspects, like cam shake, chromatic aberration, lens distortion, grain, and more.
Well, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching and see you soon.